Thank you for joining me. Over the next few minutes, I will provide an overview and analysis of Marc 21. Marc was developed in the 1960s in response to the need to create binding records that could be understood by machines. Marc 21 is not technically a metadata schema, as it does not tell you how to format element descriptions. You will likely rely on RDA or AACR2 for formatting standards. Marc 21 is an encoding schema. Its purpose is to make bibliographic descriptive elements machine-readable. The Library of Congress maintains standards for Marc 21. Information can be found at the website listed here. I feel it is important to note there are two acceptable versions of Marc records, namely full and concise. Full records offer the maximum amount of information, while concise records are minimalist. There are 5 record formats for different types of data describable in Marc 21. Bibliographic records, for example, describe characteristics of an information resource. These include titles, names, subjects, notes, publication data, and physical description. Marc 21 is interoperable. As mentioned earlier, it plays well with other schemas like AACR2, RDA, and Dublin Core. Marc 21 is flexible. Many institutions outside the Library of Congress have adopted Marc 21 because the existing elements can be used to describe new data sets. Marc 21 is extensible. Now, new elements can be added to the core elements to offer increased usability. One example of this is the addition of 3 new fields to be used in Marc 21 when using RDA metadata standards. Field 336 for content type, 337 for media type, and 338 for carrier type. There are 2 ways to look at fields in Marc 21. I'm going to go over both so you can choose which path makes the most sense to you. The first is a top 10 list. If you like lists, memorize this one. These 10 fields and their associated tags are defined by the University of Southern Mississippi libraries as the most frequently used in Marc 21. If lists don't appeal to you, or if you would like to understand what the tag numbers in Marc 21 mean, study this information about field building. In field building, the first number in the tag indicates what information will be held in all fields beginning with that number. You can see this displayed on the first table. An asterisk on this table indicates the field in these areas contain access points and will follow authority control. Looking at the second table, you can see that sometimes the last 2 digits of a tag will have the same meaning no matter which number precedes them. Let me give you an example to illustrate this. If a book is written by J.K. Rowling, she will be listed under tag 100 as the author, 1 being the main entry and 00 being the personal name. Now, if a book is written about J.K. Rowling, her name will be listed under tag 600 as the subject, 6 being the subject entry and 00 being the personal name. In her book, Quidditch Through the Ages, the 500 field states, written by J.K. Rowling as a fictitious author, whose name, Kenilworthy Wisp, is recorded in the 650 field for a topical subject. Many tag fields include the possibility or responsibility to use subfields to encode additional information. Subfields are set off by a signpost symbol designated by the library. Within a field, signposts will be followed by lowercase letters which tell machines how to interpret the subfield data. In this example, 245 is the tag for title information. The next 2 numbers are indicators. The 1 indicates the title is not the main entry of the record. This is a throwback to the physical card catalog. The 4 indicates the machine needs to skip 4 spaces to find the first word in the title that is not an article. The title begins after THE space. The information after the signpost and lowercase a is the title. If there were a signpost and lowercase b, that would indicate a subtitle. The signpost and lowercase c indicate the statement of responsibility or authorship. In this case, the cataloger chose to bracket the author's name because the book was published under the auspice that a fictional character translated the resource, and another fictional character provided the commentary. The actual author, Rowling, accepts direct authorship for only the introduction. In the classic 1982 animated movie Flight of Dragons, Carolinus the Green Wizard has a library of books that have not yet been written. The table above is an example of the top 10 fields of a Mark 21 record for a book in such a library. Please note that this pretend information would not qualify even as a concise record, nor does it conform to any metadata standard like AACR2 or RDA, as a true Mark 21 record would. Tag 010 is the imaginary Library of Congress number. Note that there are two 020 tags, one for each of the ISBN numbers. The author, in the 100 field, is listed as Meg Reading. Her name also appears in the title information in the 245 field. This book has both a title and subtitle, each of which are designated by signposts and subfields in the title information field description. Carolinus is in possession of a first edition, which will be published in 2018, as noted by tags 250 and 260. Tag 300 gives us the physical description of the book, and we see in the field for tag 440 that this is book number 4 in a series. Tag 650 links to authority subjects. Note that in subfield Z there is an asterisk. That is because this information is incorrect. While princesses and fiction are both valid values recognized by authority control, extrasolar Earth-type planets is not a valid value and will have to be corrected by a cataloger to properly link to other subject authority values. In conclusion, I want to point out that after over half a century, Mark 21 may have outlived its usefulness. Just as AACR3 was so different from AACR2 that it was rebranded as RDA, Mark is so antiquated by its connection to the library card catalog that a new encoding schema called BibFrame is being developed by the Library of Congress. Let me stress that BibFrame is still in development. Cornell University Library announced last month that they have tested using the BibFrame converter to manually create original BibFrame records for their information resources. Another competitor in the race to replace Marc is RDF, short for Resource Description Framework. While the Library of Congress began testing conversion of Marc records to BibFrame in 2013, the British Library has been testing conversion of Marc records to RDF since 2011. It is difficult to predict at this time what the future metadata will look like. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have found this presentation interesting and informative. The remaining slides list resources you may find helpful should you want or need to expand your knowledge of this topic, and citations for material used in this presentation. Have a wonderful day.